Welcome to Retiring Well, where it's our job to help you enjoy financial security in any economy. We have got a great show lined up for you this week. We're talking about the 6 ways that our government wants to change your retirement plans. This is really important stuff. I know you're going to like it. But before we jump in, I want you to meet your local co-host and retirement planning specialist.
And in Birmingham, Alabama, this is your retirement planning specialist, chartered retirement planning counselor, Tad Hill.
Retiring Well with Michael Reese, providing financial security in any economy. Today is the day you can take control of your financial future and eliminate worrying about your money forever. Retiring Well with Michael Reese, featuring Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor Tad Hill, founder of Freedom Financial Group in Birmingham.
All right, we have 6 proposals from the government regarding your retirement plans to discuss, and that is way too much to tackle in one show. We're going to cover the first 3 this week and the second 3 next week. Now remember, these are proposals. And what that means is it's not law yet. The government's simply floating this out there, and it's a proposal. If they don't get a whole bunch of flack, they'll probably turn it into law. So there you go. That's what we're dealing with. So let's go ahead, jump into the first 3. The first one, auto enrollment into IRAs. What does that mean? What are we talking about here? Well, our government recognizes that as a country, now I may not be talking to you individually here, but as a country, this will come as no surprise to you, we are very poor savers. Americans are not saving nearly enough money for their retirement, again, generally speaking. So what the government wants to do is they're trying to head this off at the pass. They don't want to have a whole bunch of people retiring and really living off of Social Security and not a whole lot else. They would prefer that you have more money set aside when you retire so you can pay for some of your own health care, so you can pay for some of your other supplemental income. In other words, so you can take care of yourself more so government has to take care of you less. So in order to help you save more money, they're coming up with this proposal where they are going to force you, no option, force you to take a percentage of your income and put it into some type of retirement plan like an IRA. There are other countries in the world that do this. Chile is one that has had great success with this. So our government's looking at that and they're saying, hey, maybe we should be doing this as well. And I got to tell you, it's probably from a financial perspective, it may not be the worst idea in the world. For those of you that are already big savers, it won't affect you. But for those of you that struggle a little bit with saving for your retirement, this might be a way to help give that extra push that you need. The next one, retirement savings cap. Now, this is one that, quite frankly, is not going to affect many people. The way this one is set up, they're saying that if you have currently at least $3.4 million in your IRA, well, the government's not going to let you add any more money. You're done. They won't let you contribute. So Mitt Romney out there reportedly had $150 million in his IRA. Well, guess what, Mitt? You can't add more money to that bad boy, according to this proposal. Well, in any event, I'm all joking aside, this is not going to affect many of you, and this is the one that's getting a lot of pushback because people are out there saying, wait a minute, just because I'm having some success with my saving, you want to punish me and not let me keep doing it? So I don't know if that one's going to get approved anyway, but it's one of them that's out there. And here's the third one I want to cover today. This is important. It's called a 5-year rule for non-spousal beneficiaries. Now, this has to do with this stuff called the stretch IRA. Currently, when you die, if you have money in an IRA, if that IRA goes to your children, grandchildren, what have you, they have the right to stretch that IRA over their lifetimes. In other words, they have their own required minimum distribution schedule. They only have to take out a small amount each year and just pay tax on a small amount. what this proposal would do to them is they would say, no, 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 we're getting rid of that. You've got 5 years maximum to get this money out of here. Now the IRS is arguing, and Congress is arguing, that that would make things a lot simpler, and it would. But what's the reality? It also gives Congress all that tax money within a 5-year stretch. So those are 3 of the proposals. What I want to do now is send it over to your local retirement planning specialists, our co-hosts, to get their perspective on these proposals.
And now, featuring Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor Tad Hill.
Well, this is just another example, in my opinion, of the government trying to solve everybody's problems and typically getting it wrong in the process. So is there a need for people to be saving more in retirement? Yes, there is. But is it the government's place to solve all of our problems? No, I don't think it is. In fact, that's kind of what Social Security was created for, was to solve this very problem. People weren't saving enough for retirement, so the government thought, okay, great, we'll tax people, and then in return, we'll save for them, and then when they reach retirement age, we'll give them their money back. And we see how well that's working out. Social Security is going to be broke before too long. We're going to have more money going out than we've got coming in. That along with Medicare, and we've got some real entitlement issues on our hands. Now, that's not the only area where I think government could do things a little differently. But as much as I think people need to be saving for retirement, as soon as we have the government fix the problem for us, that's just guaranteed to break it further, in my opinion. The solution will end up being worse than the problem. Now, what seems strange to me is that if their main concern is that we are going to solve the problem for people, on the reverse side, they're going to enable or disable people from being able to take inherited IRAs and stretch it over their lifetime. They're going to make them take that money out over a 5-year period. So that's the reverse. That's instead of an inherited IRA being able to be a vehicle to help with our children's retirement, because presumably the problem is that as the generations get older and we get new generations, each successive generation is not saving enough. So we're going to solve that problem by not enabling them to keep the inherited IRA. That doesn't make any sense to me. Capping the amount of money that we can put in an IRA, again, that's working at odds with what they're saying the problem is. They're saying the problem is we don't have enough retirement savings, so we're going to force people that aren't saving to save more, but we're going to take the people that are saving and cap what they can save. So, in my opinion, typical Keystone Cops approach to solving problems that we get from the government. The point is this, folks. If you're waiting on somebody else to solve your problems, then you're going to be waiting a long time. But I will also say this, for the folks that come to see me, the people that have come to see us, they've done a good job of saving. If you haven't prepared for retirement, you never darken my door. It's the folks that have done a great job of preparing for retirement, that have a lot of money saved, that haven't waited on somebody else to solve their problems. They come in, but yet there's a very interesting dynamic taking place. Because of people's frustrations with the government and where the country's headed in the economy and those sorts of things, they're letting that start to paralyze them. So they say things like, well, I'm not sure where tax rates are going. I don't know what the government's going to enact, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and wait. That is the wrong approach. We have to control the things that we can control. Rarely do I see people's retirement plans be in jeopardy because of something the government did. Normally it's because they're not taking action. If you want to take action for your retirement plan, you've done a good job of saving for retirement, you're prepared for retirement, but you just want to make sure you're doing all the right things, give the number on the screen a call. I'm willing to set aside time with you to sit down to do our retirement planning review and help you make sure that you've got the retirement plan that you need to protect your retirement. Give us a call. I'm willing to set aside time on my calendar and do exactly that.
Hi, Michael Reese here, and you know what I found is in that critical period, the 5 years before retirement, all the way to the 5 years after retirement, in that 10-year period, I find that over and over again, Americans are making mistakes with their financial planning that, quite frankly, are easily avoided. And it really almost breaks my heart, because if you make little mistakes in this period of time, you can have huge consequences. So in order to help you not make those mistakes, I've put together a simple website with some free videos from me to you to help you be smart about your planning. The website is called 3mistakes.com. It's the number 3 spelled out, T-H-R-E-E, 3mistakes.com. Why don't you go there today?
Let's talk about a customized retirement plan. Retiring today is not what it used to be. What works for your neighbor may not be best for you. Yet everywhere you turn, it seems like financial firms are giving cookie-cutter advice.
Your circumstances are different than anyone else's. As a chartered retirement planning counselor, my Retirement Roadmap Review is designed to uncover the must-know facts for your situation before we start implementing solutions.
It's one more reason that now, more than ever, you need to talk to a retirement planning specialist. Why not call the number on your screen right now? We'd love to talk to you about protecting your retirement.
Welcome back. It's time for our question of the week.
This week's question is from Laura from Urbandale, Iowa. She asks, I'm considering converting my IRA to a Roth IRA. What are some of the disadvantages that I need to consider?
Well, this is a good question, and here are the things you have to consider if you're going to convert to a Roth. In the past, if you made too much money, you couldn't do a Roth conversion. But a few years ago, they did away with that law, so now, no matter how much money you make or how much money you have, you can convert your IRA money to Roth money. The trip up of that is that when you take your money out of your IRA, you have to pay taxes on the money. So if you've got $1 million IRA, I don't know a whole lot of folks that are lining up to have $1 million hit their income tax all at once and pay $400,000 or $450,000 in income taxes to convert their IRA. One of the things that we do often is we look at where are you in terms of your tax brackets, because a lot of our clients have amassed a lot of wealth. They've got, $1 million plus, but what they don't have once they retire, or once you retire, is a lot of income. So maybe you've got a small pension or Social Security, but you're in a pretty small effective tax bracket. One of the things that we can look at is there a way to start taking little chunks of your tax-deferred money and move them into a tax-free bucket? Maybe it's only $10,000 to $25,000 a year, but we're taking advantage of your marginal tax brackets and wherever you are so that we can get money over at smaller tax rates. Over an 8 or 10 year period, maybe we've moved $150,000 or $200,000 into a tax-free account. That makes a lot of sense for people. I will say this though, if you are using your IRA to live on and you plan on taking 3 or 4 or 5% out of your IRA every year in retirement, doing a Roth conversion probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Everybody's circumstances are different, so we really have to understand what's going on in your life and really look at this. And we've got software packages that run these scenarios that will give you the number. But if you're interested in doing a Roth conversion and you're not sure whether it's right for you or not, give us a call. I'm willing to set aside time and sit down with you and help you understand the numbers. Just give the number on the screen a call, and I'll be happy to set aside time and help you figure that out.
Do you want your question answered on Retiring Well? Send us an email to question@retiringwell.tv.
This week in Chalk Talk, I want to share with you what we refer to as the 3 manufacturers of financial tools, and talk a little bit about what's available from each one, where it fits in your overall planning. We really have, as you can kind of see up here, these are the 3 manufacturers. You can get financial products or tools from banks, brokerage houses and insurance companies. Those are your main ones. So banks, what do we get at banks? Well, this is where we have our savings. What's the purpose of money at a bank? It's not to get a big return. The purpose is to have a safe and liquid place for your emergency funds. Generally speaking, 6 to 12 months. That's what you keep there. Now, if you're retired, I like the idea of having more like 12 months of expenses at the bank. If you're still working, 6 months may be fine. Here's the point: you have no business investing until you've at least got a core amount of savings set aside at the bank. Next, we have a brokerage. And what do you get at brokerage houses? That's where you find your stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Brokerage houses are all about investing or investments. And the thing about brokerage houses, this is all about G&A. And when I say G&A, what I'm really referring to, and please get this down, make sure you understand this. G&A stands for growth and accumulation. I'm going to say it again. Growth and accumulation. The purpose of tools that you get from a brokerage house. And as I said, what are they? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, options, commodities, all that kind of stuff. Anything that can lose value falls in that category. Anyway, the purpose, growth and accumulation. And then finally, insurance. Typically, insurance is about income and preservation. That's the purpose of insurance accounts. This is where you typically are going to get life insurance, annuities, that type of thing. Once you get towards retirement, you're going to want to include some of this stuff because it provides guaranteed lifetime income. It's the only place you can get that. A truly diversified portfolio for the person who is retired will have components of all three manufacturers represented. Not all of one or the other, but all three. And that's this week's Truck Talk.
Let's talk about retirement income. Studies show that a large number of retirees are worried about running out of money. Broken promises from banks, Wall Street, and the folks in Washington, D.C. may have you worried about your own retirement security.
Having a predictable income stream is a key ingredient to protecting your retirement. One potential way to do that is to have your income stream based on math and not markets.
It's one more reason that now, more than ever, you need to talk to a retirement planning specialist. Why not call the number on your screen right now? We'd love to talk to you about protecting your retirement. You've worked your entire life to become financially secure so you can enjoy a comfortable retirement. But when you get there, what's next? Wall Street and the financial media flood the airwaves with information about what you should and shouldn't do. But who are they working for? Who can you trust?
For the past 17 years, I've focused on helping people just like you protect and preserve their retirement security. And during that time, I've identified 7 different lies, each with the potential to destroy the security that you've worked so hard to build. I believe that you deserve to know the truth. And so I've built a website that hosts a series of videos that's free of charge that you can watch in the comfort and safety of your own home.
You don't want to miss out on these powerful videos that shine the light of truth on what can be a confusing topic. Why don't you go there now? It's absolutely free, and you'll be glad you did. www.retirementincomelines.com. You deserve to know the truth.
Okay, Birmingham, it's that time again. It's the Retirement Rescue of the Week. And this week we're going to talk about Tom and Betty. Tom and Betty are from Vestavia Hills, and they came to see me. And Tom and Betty were in the situation that most of our clients are in. They were people that had taken control of their lives from the very beginning. They did a great job of saving. It was time for them to retire, and they had amassed a lot of wealth. But when they came to see me, they were very concerned about the direction that the country's headed. They were worried about tax rates and what was going to be happening there. Inflation was a big issue on their minds. They were concerned about the national debt. And what all of this meant was they were making one of the cardinal sins of retirement planning. And the cardinal sin, this cardinal sin, is worrying about things that you cannot control. So they had done a great job of controlling, preparing for retirement, but now they were letting their perception of what was going on in the world prevent them from making good decisions about their retirement planning. So when we sat down, we started going through all of these things, and what happened was what so often happens. They realized that common sense should dictate retirement planning just like it does anything else in our lives. All of our clients are the kind of people that have done a great job of saving. You've got good common sense. You know what's right, what's wrong, what needs to be done, what makes sense. You just need somebody to walk through all of the things that need to be thought through for you and then take control of that situation. So that's what we did. We sat down and we went through income planning, investment planning, tax planning, healthcare planning, and legacy planning. What my retirement roadmap does is it steps through all of these things, and it makes sure that we are thinking through all of the questions that need to be understood and the answers to those questions, and then what are the different options for how to skin the cat in those different areas, if you will. So if we need to put an income plan together, what are the 2 or 3 ways that we can do that? And what's the way that makes the most sense for Tom and Betty or for you? So once we got through with this process, Tom and Betty walked away from that and they said to me, they said, you know, this is the first time in a while that we have felt like we were back in control of our own circumstances. And what we had done was we had planned for the worst case and hoped for the best. So we don't want to have a plan in place that's hoping the market goes up or hopes that the government doesn't do more stupid stuff. We need a plan in place that's going to assume that all of the things that can go wrong do, and we want to eliminate those risks or mitigate them. But the thing we can't do is stick our head in the sand and ignore the fact that the world is still going to be spinning around and we've got to deal with it. So we want to take control of the things that we can control and ignore the things we can't control. If this makes sense to you and you're wondering for yourself, hey, I've done a great job of preparing for retirement, I've got a lot of money saved, I just need to make sure that I'm not having situations implode my retirement that I can avoid. Give the number on the screen a call. I'm willing to sit down and go through our retirement roadmap review with you and help you answer the different questions in the 5 areas of retirement planning so that you can walk away, like Tom and Betty have, understanding what your plan looks like, what the potential risks are, and how we have solved for them. In other words, it's designed to give you peace of mind. Give the number on the screen a call. I'm willing to set aside time to do that for you.
Well, I've got to ask you, do you see a little piece of yourself in that story? If so, you should be calling the number on the screen. Heck, if you have any questions about your retirement planning, call the number on the screen. You can sit down with a retirement planning specialist, someone who is an expert at what they do, and no cost, no obligation. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Okay, as we come to the end of the show, it's time, once again, to check in with my dog, Charlie. Well, you know my dog Charlie, he loves to surf the internet. And this week he's come across a story from the Wall Street Journal that really applies to our show this week, the message that we have this week about retirement And quite frankly, it highlights what a poor job we do as a group, we Americans that is, as a group do, saving money. So here we go. The title of the article is Workers Saving Too Little to Retire. It was published on March 19th of this year, so it's not very old. Here's what it says. I just want to read a couple paragraphs. Workers and employers in the U.S. are bracing, like for a storm, they're bracing for a retirement crisis, even as the stock market sits near highs and the economy shows signs of improvement. So right away the article is saying, whoa, what's going on here? The economy's getting better, the market's doing great, yet workers and employers are bracing for a retirement crisis. This doesn't seem to add up. What's going on here? Well, what's going on is demographic forces are really causing some trouble. Specifically, we're living longer. We need our money to last longer during our retirement years, and that's becoming hard. Now, here's some statistics in this article that I want to share with you that are almost scary. First one, 57%, 57% of U.S. workers surveyed reported less than $25,000 in savings and investments. That's household. So less than 25 grand in savings and investments, that's 57%. We've got more. 28% of Americans have no confidence, zero confidence that they will have enough money to retire comfortably. This is the highest number in the 23-year history of this study. Of those Americans surveyed who say, yep, we are very confident we're going to have enough money. So let's go to the other side. 28%, no way can we retire comfortably. What percentage said, yep, we are in great shape, we're definitely going to retire comfortably? Only 13%, extremely low number. How about this one? The percentage of workers who saved anything for retirement plunged to 66%. That means 1 out of 3 people didn't even contribute to their retirement over the past year. And only about half of the people surveyed could lay their hands on $2,000 if they needed it in the next month. Scary statistics. Real important that you save. Thanks for that treat, Charlie. All right. That's Charlie's message to you. Have a great week.